You feel it, don't you? That relentless urge to pursue, to push, to strive for something just out of reach. Perhaps it's a promotion, a relationship, a sense of validation, or a particular outcome. You've been taught, implicitly and explicitly, that success demands relentless effort, that you must chase your dreams with every ounce of your being. From a young age, the narrative has been one of struggle, of conquering, of exerting maximum force to attain what you desire. And so, you pour your energy into the pursuit, sometimes feeling like you're running on an endless treadmill, always striving, yet rarely feeling truly settled or satisfied. This constant state of yearning, of reaching, often leaves you feeling drained, perpetually one step behind the happiness you seek. It's an exhausting dance with life, where peace remains an elusive whisper rather than a constant companion. But what if this very act of chasing is precisely what pushes away what you truly desire? What if the intense effort you exert, the desperate grip you try to maintain, is actually creating a resistance, a barrier between you and what is meant for you? There's a profound Stoic wisdom that challenges this common approach to life, suggesting that the very energy of grasping can tighten the universe's fist around what you seek, preventing it from naturally unfolding. It suggests a different path, one not of frantic pursuit, but of magnetic attraction. A path where what belongs to you, truly and intrinsically, finds its way to you, not because you ran after it with a desperate need, but because you cultivated the inner ground for it to land, becoming a receptive, fertile space. This perspective doesn't advocate for passive waiting or wishful thinking. On the contrary, it demands a profound and active inner transformation. This is about a fundamental shift in your understanding of control, desire, and self-worth. It's about learning to embody a state of being that naturally draws opportunities, peace, and meaningful connections rather than constantly scrambling for them. It requires a courageous internal pivot, moving away from external validation as your primary driver and embracing an unshakable sense of self. Over the next few moments, we will explore the often hidden dynamics of this chase, uncover the pervasive mistakes that keep us stuck in this exhausting cycle, and reveal powerful Stoic habits that allow you to attract rather than perpetually pursue. We will delve into the psychological mechanisms at play that make us chase, draw lessons from historical figures who mastered this art of quiet attraction, and equip you with practical tools to transform your approach to life from one of anxious seeking to one of calm receiving. By the end, you will see a clear path to becoming a magnet for what truly serves your highest good, and understand why, sometimes, the most powerful action is to simply be. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier. Plus, 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today. The hidden problem most people don't recognize when they are relentlessly chasing something is not the effort itself, but the internal void driving that effort. It's the silent, often unconscious belief that you are somehow incomplete without that external achievement or validation. Most people pursue external achievements, relationships, or possessions because they believe these things will complete them, validate them, or finally bring them happiness. This chase, therefore, is not born of a robust, confident self, but from a profound sense of lack and emptiness that whispers, "You are not enough as you are." You might convince yourself it's ambition, a healthy drive for growth, but deeper down, if you are honest, it's often a fear of not being enough, a belief that you are incomplete without that external object or person to fill an imagined deficiency. This makes your pursuit less about creation, contribution, or expression, and more about consumption. An attempt to patch up a perceived emptiness within your being using external fragments. This isn't ambition, it's a frantic effort to escape a deeply held insecurity. Stoicism, however, teaches us that completeness resides inherently within. It is not something to be acquired, but something to be recognized and cultivated. Seneca reminds us that every soul is its own master, and that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When you chase from a place of perceived deficiency, you project an energy of neediness, a subtle desperation that undermines your perceived value. This energy, far from attracting, often subtly repels. People and opportunities are instinctively deterred by desperation, by the underlying demand for validation that accompanies such a chase. Your intense longing can feel like a burden, an unspoken expectation placed upon others, or upon the opportunity itself, to solve an internal problem that is not theirs to solve. You inadvertently signal that you are not whole, that your happiness is contingent on something external, placing immense, unfair pressure on that external thing or person to fulfill a role it can never truly play. The true path to attracting what you desire is to cultivate such a strong sense of internal completeness, an unwavering self-sufficiency, that your pursuits become expressions of your overflowing self, not desperate attempts to patch up a hole. This shift from chasing to expressing transforms your energetic signature, making you genuinely magnetic without needing to cling. It reveals a quiet strength, a sovereign independence that draws others in, not out of their obligation to complete you, but out of their recognition and admiration of your inherent worth and self-possession. It's the difference between trying to grasp something and becoming so compelling that it naturally gravitates towards you. The most common mistake that keeps people trapped in a cycle of chasing rather than attracting is confusing effort with control. We are conditioned from early experiences, through competitive systems and media narratives, to believe that if we just try harder, push more aggressively, or invest more time and energy, we can force any desired outcome into existence. This belief stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of the Stoic dichotomy of control, a principle vividly articulated by Epictetus in his Enchiridion. He taught that some things are within our control, specifically our opinions, impulses, desires, and aversions, which are all aspects of our inner judgment and will, while others are not, such as our bodies, possessions, reputation, social status, and external events. The mistake then is directing immense, often frantic energy towards trying to manipulate the latter, the things unequivocally outside our sphere of influence. When you chase, you are often attempting to control external factors. Another person's affection or decision, a company's hiring choice, the market's behavior, the trajectory of a project, or the universe's timing. You exert yourself, believing that your sheer force of will can bend these external realities to your desires. But the truth is, while you can influence some externals through your actions, you can never truly control them. Their ultimate unfolding remains beyond your grasp. This misdirection of effort leads to profound frustration, persistent anxiety, and debilitating burnout. You become emotionally invested, even addicted, to outcomes that are ultimately not yours to dictate, making your inner peace and sense of self-worth entirely contingent on external whims and the often capricious nature of fortune. The Stoics understood that true freedom, genuine power, and lasting tranquility come from focusing solely on what is within your sphere of influence, your character, your choices, your attitude, your judgments, and your effort towards what you control. The moment you align your effort with this profound understanding, you cease the futile chase of externals and begin cultivating the internal strength that naturally attracts what is aligned with your virtue without demanding or grasping for it. This shift liberates immense mental and emotional energy, allowing you to build an inner citadel impervious to external turbulence, thereby becoming a stable point of attraction. To shift from chasing to attracting, one must embrace and deeply integrate two powerful yet rarely practiced Stoic habits, the integration of amor fati and premeditatio malorum. These are not merely intellectual concepts but profound practices for reorienting your relationship with reality. Amor fati, or the love of one's fate, is far more than passive resignation. It is an active, even joyous acceptance of everything that happens, recognizing it as an integral, indeed perfect, part of the unfolding of a rational, providentially ordered universe. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly counsels us to love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own. When you truly love what is, when you embrace every event, good, bad or indifferent, as a necessary thread in the tapestry of existence, you eradicate the impulse to chase what isn't or what should be. The constant internal struggle against reality, the futile wish that things were different, simply dissolves, replaced by a profound peace and an unshakable sense of being at home in the world. This loving acceptance frees an incredible amount of mental energy that was previously spent in resistance. Complementing this is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, a rigorous mental exercise where you deliberately rehearse adverse events before they occur. It means contemplating potential loss, failure, rejection, illness, or discomfort, not to wallow in negativity or invite misfortune, but to prepare the mind to strip these potential events of their shock value and their emotional power. Seneca taught that he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming in advance. By confronting potential difficulties in advance, by mentally walking through how you would cope, how you would maintain your virtue and inner composure, you inoculate yourself against their sting and reduce their capacity to disrupt your inner calm. You realize that you possess the inner resources to face whatever comes. When you know, deep down, through repeated mental rehearsal, that you can handle whatever comes your way, your desperate attachment to chasing specific, safe outcomes diminishes dramatically. You become less fearful of not acquiring what you pursue, and profoundly more resilient in the face of setbacks, recognizing them not as catastrophes, but as opportunities for exercising virtue. This powerful combination of loving what inevitably happens and proactively preparing for what might happen fundamentally transforms your internal state. You begin to radiate an unshakable equanimity, a profound self-reliance, and a fearless acceptance of reality, an energy that projects strength and stability. This inner foundation becomes an irresistible force, naturally attracting opportunities and relationships that resonate with such a tranquil and stable core, rather than desperately seeking them out of fear or anxiety. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier, plus 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today. The psychological mechanism behind the persistent human tendency to chase, rather than attract, lies in the pervasive scarcity mindset. Though not explicitly termed this by ancient Stoics in modern psychological terms, their philosophy directly addresses its root causes and offers a comprehensive remedy. When we believe, often unconsciously, that good things, opportunities, love, financial resources, recognition, time, are finite, limited, and fiercely contested, we operate from a place of deep-seated fear. We fear missing out, fear that someone else will get our share, fear that if we don't grab it now with both hands it will be gone forever, leaving us empty-handed. This scarcity mindset triggers an anxious, competitive, and often aggressive drive to pursue, hoard, and defend, leading to a perpetual state of dissatisfaction and frantic effort. You become convinced that you must fight for every crumb, push for every advantage, and chase every glimmer of hope, every potential connection, because the universe is inherently stingy, and life is a zero-sum game where one person's gain is another's loss. This outlook creates a constant internal tension, a feeling that you are perpetually battling against the odds. Stoicism offers a profoundly liberating antidote by cultivating what could be called an abundance of self, an inexhaustible inner richness. It redirects our focus from the external, limited realm of possessions and outcomes to the internal, boundless one of our character and moral choices. By emphasizing that our true wealth lies in our virtue, our reason, our capacity for rational judgment, our character, and our capacity for choice, all of which are infinite, constantly renewable, and entirely within our control, Stoicism fundamentally dismantles the scarcity paradigm. When you understand that your inner resources are inexhaustible, that your worth is intrinsic and not dependent on external acquisitions or the approval of others, the desperate need to chase dissipates. You realize that true value comes from within, from the integrity of your actions and the quality of your character, not from what you can accumulate, possess, or prove. This radical shift in perception frees your energy from frantic outward pursuit and allows you to operate from a place of inner fullness, a secure understanding of your own intrinsic value. This inner abundance doesn't just make you content, it changes your energetic resonance. Instead of emanating neediness, fear, and a desperate grab, you radiate calm strength, self-possession, and genuine generosity, naturally attracting circumstances and individuals who are drawn to that authentic, unshakable power. You stop operating as if you must constantly prove your worth to the world, and start living as if it is already undeniable, a quiet truth that radiates outwards. Consider the life of Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic figures, a towering intellect whose philosophy was intimately intertwined with his demanding public life. He was a philosopher, a brilliant playwright, an astute financial advisor, and, for a time, the most influential counselor to Emperor Nero, accumulating immense wealth, social standing, and political influence. By all accounts, he possessed much that others frantically chased. Yet, Seneca consistently demonstrated a profound detachment from these externals, understanding their transient nature. He knew deeply that his wealth, his position, his very life could be stripped away at any moment, as indeed they ultimately were when Nero, his former pupil, ordered his suicide. He attracted influence not by desperately seeking favor or scrambling for power through court intrigue, but by cultivating wisdom, virtue, and eloquent expression. His counsel was sought, his plays revered, and his philosophy enduring precisely because of his reputation for integrity, intellectual honesty, and profound insight, not because he aggressively pursued political ascendancy or personal gain. He simply was wise, and others were drawn to that wisdom. Seneca rigorously practiced what he preached, focusing intensely on his inner character, his judgments, his responses to events, and his commitment to virtue. He attracted students, disciples, and powerful allies because he embodied the very self-sufficiency, tranquility, and inner freedom he advocated. His willingness to live simply, even amidst extraordinary luxury, and his constant preparedness for the loss of everything, including his own life, a powerful application of premeditatio malorum, made him an unshakable figure, admired and respected even by his enemies. He understood that true respect, genuine admiration, and lasting influence are not granted to those who beg for it, nor to those who aggressively demand it, but to those who earn it through their consistent moral character, their unwavering inner peace, and their profound freedom from external circumstance. When the time came for him to face his death, he did so with calm dignity, having already mentally prepared for such an event, offering comfort and instruction to those around him, embodying the very principles he taught. Seneca's example teaches us that by embodying our virtues fully, cultivating profound detachment from external outcomes, and focusing on what is truly within our control, our thoughts, actions, and character, we cease to chase. Instead, we become a gravitational center, a fixed star in a turbulent world, naturally drawing towards us what is aligned with our cultivated integrity, commanding respect without ever needing to demand it, and attracting meaningful engagement through the sheer force of our virtuous being. To move from an exhausting pursuit to a state of natural attraction, let's establish a concrete, actionable Stoic practice. We can call this the inner citadel calibration. This exercise is designed to clarify your desires, meticulously distinguish between what is within and outside your control, and powerfully reorient your focus towards what truly lies within your power, thereby reducing the anxious impulse to chase. Each morning, or whenever you feel that familiar urge to chase something intensely, take a few quiet moments to journal or simply reflect deeply on one thing you currently feel tempted to pursue or acquire. It could be a particular professional opportunity, a person's approval or affection, a specific material gain, or even a future state of being. For each item you identify, ask yourself two crucial clarifying questions with absolute honesty. First, what specific aspects of this pursuit are truly and unequivocally within my control? This might include your consistent effort, your diligent preparation, your unwavering attitude, your commitment to skills development, your clear and honest communication, your integrity in all dealings, or your capacity for generosity. Focus intensely on these aspects, making a mental or written note of how you can perfectly execute them. These are your true levers of power. Second, what aspects are clearly not within my control, regardless of how much you wish they were? This typically includes the ultimate outcome itself. Other people's independent decisions, market conditions, the passage of time, or unforeseen external circumstances. Once you've made this clear distinction, commit to consciously and emotionally releasing your grip on the uncontrollable elements. Mentally, picture yourself placing them gently aside, acknowledging their existence, but refusing to burden yourself with them. Resolve to direct your energy only to the controllable aspects, pouring your focus, passion, and diligence into being excellent, virtuous, and resilient in your actions and choices, irrespective of the ultimate external outcome. Conclude this practice by identifying 3 things you are genuinely grateful for in your life right now, however small or grand. This final step reinforces a mindset of inherent abundance and contentment, further diminishing the anxious urge to chase from a perceived place of lack, grounding you in present reality. By consistently performing this inner citadel calibration, you train your mind to stop expending precious energy on futile external struggles and instead build your internal strength and peace. You will notice the frantic need to chase diminish, gradually replaced by a profound, grounded calm that naturally draws in opportunities, relationships, and circumstances aligned with your authentic, self-sufficient state. This isn't magic. It's the natural consequence of cultivating a powerful inner gravity. I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've chosen to stop chasing, and what liberating shift has that brought to your life? Share your insight in the comments below. If this conversation resonates deeply with your journey, please like this video and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and practical guidance on living a more purposeful life. The ultimate transformation in adopting an attract, don't chase philosophy is an identity shift, moving from being a chaser to becoming an attractor. A chaser defines themselves by their external pursuits, constantly validating their worth through what they acquire or achieve, forever feeling dependent on the next win. An attractor, by contrast, defines themselves by their inner virtues, their character, their unshakable self-sufficiency, and their inherent integrity, knowing their value is non-negotiable and internally generated. This is the final awakening. Realizing that what belongs to you isn't some arbitrary stroke of luck or destiny. It is what aligns organically and inevitably with the person you have meticulously and deliberately built yourself to be. The Stoic concept of living in accordance with nature, championed by Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, is profoundly relevant here. It means aligning your internal state, your intentions, your actions, and your character with the highest principles of reason and virtue, with the rational order of the universe. When you are truly living in accordance with your best self, when you are cultivating wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as your guiding stars, you stop needing to chase because you are embodying the very qualities that attract meaningful experiences and deep, authentic connections. You become the source of the value you seek rather than a desperate recipient. The person who truly deserves respect doesn't chase it. They simply are respectable through their consistent actions and character. The person who cultivates genuine connection doesn't frantically pursue it. They are connectable, radiating warmth and authenticity. This is not about passive waiting, it's about active being. It's about becoming so deeply rooted in your own self-worth, your inherent purpose, and your inner peace that your very presence, your quiet strength, your calm confidence becomes a magnetic force. The world, in its deepest sense, reflects back to you the inner state you cultivate. When you cultivate a state of profound inner fullness, unshakable purpose, and serene calm, you become a beacon, and what truly belongs to you, what genuinely serves your growth, aligns with your highest purpose, and contributes to your flourishing, will indeed find its way to you, effortlessly drawn by the magnetic power of your authentic, virtuous self. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier. Plus, 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today.